This was by far the craziest episode so far of Road to Glory, so let's get right into it. Our first game we went up against Miami University of Ohio, which is one of our rivals in the MAC, and honestly, we started this game off incredible. We hit the safety right here with the nastiest juke you will ever see in college football and take this to the house from just the second play from scrimmage, and we already scored. We actually broke the longest run in college football history, which is kind of crazy. I would have assumed it was a little bit farther, but you know, this was just a sign of what to come. Miami really had no business stopping us today, and we really took it to them from the jump. It's 7-7 right now. They kept it close, but we're breaking off big run after big run. We're getting to the point of the year where I really do think we're starting to get the handle of these options. Our quarterback is feeling a little more comfortable with us, which is really good, considering how bad the option game was early in the year. And on this play, our quarterback uncorks it on a 3rd and 13, ends up scoring a touchdown on just a normal 4 verts, so shout out to him. With about 2 minutes left in the first half, we really wanted to start pushing the ball down the field, making some plays, so we start throwing a little bit more, and how we're going out of the backfield really gives us hope that maybe if NFL teams don't see us as a running back with how big we are, we maybe could be a wide receiver, but at this point, why would you change position with how good we're running the ball? It's another touchdown for us, putting us up 21-7. Another huge run here. We end up getting out of bounds at about the 40. Into third quarter now, and they just really can't stop us. I don't think we've had many runs for less than about 5 yards. Everything seems to be over that. Quarterback keeper here, which actually goes well. He gets a 5-yard rush. Raymond does have some issues, and right here he runs backwards a little bit, gets a -3 yards. So the option's still hit or miss, but so far in this game, it actually wasn't as bad as we've seen it so far this year. The main issue I think most people have with us is how evasive we are. It's not only the fact that we are 7 foot, 400 pounds. It's the fact that you can't tackle us. We break tackles because we're so big, but you also can't catch us. We're so evasive, we're so elusive, and you kind of see that right here as we just take the edge and score it on a 1st and goal with ease. Boys are buzzing. Athens, Ohio is really the place to be. We're up 31-7 with about 3 minutes left in the fourth, and we've decided at this point we're going to stop trying to go down. Earlier in our career, we would try to go down for sportsmanship, but we're at this point, we're going for blood. We're trying to get as many stats as possible. We want to put Athens, Ohio on the map. Our goal by the end of the season is to be ranked into, hopefully be in the Heisman conversation. That's our goal. And another nasty juke right there. And we actually just broke our record from last year, the most rushing yards in the game at 351 yards. After the game, I checked the top 25 just to see, and nowhere to be found, but we do get a lot of votes, 225 votes. Next thing I checked was Heisman, and we are the 4th candidate. We're the only non-quarterback there. That's a great sign for things to come as we roll into this game against Akron. At this point, we're really close to being ranked, and we're really high in the Heisman candidacy. Our goal is just to have as many good games as possible. Obviously, try to dominate these MAC competitors as we do right there with another juke move. You cannot stop this guy. I think this is our 2nd or 3rd play from scrimmage, and a 62-yard touchdown. The explosive plays are unreal, and he's impossible to bring down. I think the main thing about Richard Raymond that is so confusing is how polarizing he can be at times. He's either making these huge plays down the field with his arm, which is awesome, or he's making the wrong option on these option plays where he gets tackled for about a 3-yard loss, making it 4th and 5, or can't get any points. Being up only 10-0 against Akron with a little bit of time left in the second is really not ideal. We want to pour it on to these MAC opponents because this is not going to look great if we're going to be ranked. We need to win these games convincingly and win them easily. I think the main thing I really like is how much we're being used out of the backfield. I think when we get the ball in our hands, especially at receiving, I think it adds a dynamic here that a lot of backs don't have in college football. Coming out of the second half, it's 13-0. We only got 3 out of that last possession on the first half. And again, whenever we run those plays, we try to run somewhat of a Texas route. He hits us, and we pick up the first pretty easily. On these power road plays, I love them. Our blockers are absolutely insane. We get the edge. We have the run. We look like we're going to go all the way, and we get stopped short on the 3. It's taken out. We score a touchdown. On here, we actually have an option play ran correctly. And look at it. We gained some yards. We hurdle, which probably was dumb, but somehow he gets credited for the pass, which I was a little confused about. And right here, the best blocks I've ever seen in my life. As much as I want to take credit for this, the blockers are unreal for this Ohio University team. This actually breaks the record for the longest run in college football history, which I think I just broke last game if I'm not mistaken. And we're just pouring it on. It's going to be 27-0 against Akron, and we just keep adding to the stats. This is the goal right now. We want to show them that we can dominate. We want to show them we are a Heisman candidate and that Ohio needs to be taken seriously and needs to be ranked in the next rankings. And that's the end of the ballgame, 27-0. We rush for a whopping 321 yards, and that's just unreal. And after this, we actually get some love. We're going to be ranked 24th in the nation. Not really something I thought was going to happen, especially after that game. And we are the #1 favorite for the Heisman right now, along with 4 of the quarterbacks, all ranking in the high 90s. And we're 92 overall, which is awesome, but we're not done yet. We want to show why we should win the Heisman and why Ohio University deserves to be ranked. Our first game as a ranked program is against Toledo in the cold snow up north. And this makes it a tough game just because we're not going to be able to throw the ball as easily, and it's harder to run in the cold just because, some people aren't built for it. But luckily for us, we're from Ohio. We're used to this weather and we're ready. But looks like Toledo came out with a game plan, and that was to stop me. And as we're picking up these yards, we're not having those explosive runs that we're used to having. We're just not having that big pop play. But we keep up with it. We're going to obviously try to run the ball. That's kind of our bread and butter. We're a run-first team. We're not a pass-first team. We're starting to get there a little bit. We're getting these 10-yard runs, which is nice. Getting into the red zone here. Toledo linebacker makes an absolutely incredible play. Stops us in the back. Throws it to us out of the backfield, and we drop it right around the 2-yard line. And it looks like Richardson is trying to hit me here, but I just run the wrong route, honestly, so that's not great. We're actually down here. 7-3 against Toledo is not a good look at all. This is the last thing we need the nation to see is the 24th ranked team in the country struggling to Toledo. So looks like Richardson's having a really good game passing the ball. Gets us within the 5. And right here, we make probably the worst play of our season and call for a pass that we really shouldn't have. And it gets picked. So we turn back to our cornerback seals and we track him down. And, we'll put a hand up. That's on us. And we are actually down 14-3 coming out of the second half, which is unreal. This is not good. We started off hot with a 24-yard rush, though. Richardson decides to keep it on a 3rd and 3 option, and he does pick up the first, which is crucial. We get the handoff right here. We try to follow our blockers. Probably should have scored there, but we take it to the 5-yard line. And on this 1st and goal, it's given right to us, and we end up scoring, and that makes it 14-10. We get the ball right back to start the 4th quarter, and man, we're running with some vengeance now. It really seems like our offensive line took the first half personally because we do a hurry up right here on the 1-yard line and they seal the blocks. We score, putting us up 17-14, which is pretty big. And we break the school rushing record that we broke last year. We break it here with a lot of games left, which is pretty insane. 2 minutes left in the quarter. We are still trying to add to the stats to make this lead a little bit better just because at this point it does not look great, but we are going to need it out. We do win this game. We escape 17-14 with 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. And after a game where a lot of us thought we might get dinged, we actually get a boost. We are the 20th ranked team in the nation after a close win with the rival Toledo, and we are still the lead candidate for the Heisman. I mean, they just see this running attack, and they know that this is probably the most valuable player in the nation. As the 20th ranked team in the nation, we face off against another MAC opponent in Buffalo, and this game, another one, is a tough one where they're going to try to key in on the run. They really don't want me to break the game, which is kind of the way to beat Ohio. If you're going to, they get me here for a -2-yard rush. We're already up on the board early, and we get a truck, and we're in the end zone for the first time in the game after a 16-yard run. We're kind of continuing our dominance against MAC schools where they really just can't keep up with me, especially out of the backfield. I'm loving these pass plays. I think this is really going to be a key. If we do run up against these top Power 5 schools, I really think a crucial element will be us in the passing game. After a bad keep by Richmond, we are handed off the ball, and we get it all the way to the 1 on a 4th and goal. And here we do a toss play, and we score with ease 21-0 with just a few minutes left in the first half. They don't really have anybody in the flats on these vertical plays, so we do hurry it up, and we just keep calling for the ball, getting as close as we can to running out of bounds, and we run out of bounds there. And we actually end up scoring another touchdown, 28-0 in the first half. At this point, it seems unfair. We just have a nice little block here. We have an amazing juke, and we should have taken this to the house, but we juke into our lineman and knock him over. Right here, the change of direction is insane. You don't see this at a MAC school with this competition. Another cutback right there, but don't get nearly as many yards. On this 1st and 10, we're taking a little power O, and right here, we turn on the burners, but we get caught from behind at the 45 after a 27-yard gain. Richmond makes the right call here, keeps it, and then gets tackled at about the 40. And on this 3rd and 4, we take it, and we get all the way to about the 20-yard line, and that pretty much does it for the game. We're going to take another run play here at the 3rd, cut it inside, have a juke, almost take it in, get it to the 4. It is 42-0 at the end of the 3rd, and we get one more play here at 2nd and 6, pick up an easy first, and run. Could have taken it all the way had we had a better angle. Have a screenplay right here, which great pass, dump off by Richmond, great blocks, have an easy touchdown, making it 49-0, and then they pull all the starters. So we win the game 49-0. Another incredible game for us. We end up getting 184 yards and 3 total touchdowns.